gentlemen, welcome to the fourth episode of Light and Hunch. I know Z is not here right now. He is getting his hair done. Remember, he is a diva, and divas need to get their hairs done. So for that reason, he is not here. But we're still gonna continue the show. Here, let me add my boys real quick before we even start. Where they at? Right here. We live. Perfect. All right, cool. So before we even introduce the guest, this man is the biggest Celtics fan in all of TikTok. Apparently, Danny Ainge and him are the general managers of the Celtics. They are very good at managing their teams. And also, final thing, he taught Jason Tatum everything he knows. Thank you for coming. His name is JJ15NBA. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. That was an amazing introduction. How are you
Hey man,
doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So before we talk about all the topics I mentioned before the podcast even started, I want you to talk about your Celtics. What were your expectations from the beginning of the year, and then what do you think right now? What's going on? Let's go from there.
All right. So I first want to say thank you for having me. So yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for
no
having me.
problem.
And I was expecting big things from the Celtics this year.
Uh-huh.
I was wrong for a multiple amount of reasons. Um, the first one is the one that I'm most mad about, and
Yeah,
it's really out of it's just it's in nobody's hands really.
exactly.
It's injuries.
Mm-hmm. I feel
Like
you.
Jaylen Brown is going to miss a total of 15 games this season. Tatum missed 10. Marcus Smart missed 25. Kemba missed 30. Um, Robert Williams, our best center, missed maybe close to 40 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
just
ridiculous.
it's
That's a lot
ridiculous.
of yeah. I
From
gotta and
yeah,
let me talk about centers for the Celtics. What was your thoughts when the Celtics didn't even try to acquire a center during the trade deadline? Do you think what's your thoughts?
instead we gave one away.
Yeah.
Tice,
Mhm.
look, every Celtics fan has their problem with Tice, but
Yeah.
um, I thought he was pretty solid for a bench center. I thought he was pretty
Hmm.
solid, and we just traded him for Luke Cornett, a guy who we barely play now, and Mo Wagner, a guy that we dropped like one game
Uh
ago.
huh. Yeah. So
So we just
obviously,
basically, yeah,
no,
we
keep
just threw
going. No,
away a
keep
guy.
going.
We
Yeah.
just
No,
threw
man.
away Daniel Tice, and he was solid.
He was. No, I like that. Look, one of my boys, he's a big Celtics fan. And he called me cursing me out that they didn't get a center. And I'm a Laker fan, so I understand all the struggles you guys are going because the injuries we've been having. But
Oh yeah,
man, it suck. Like now, like although the Lakers have a chance now that everybody's coming back, man, that Jaylen Brown wrist injury came at the wrong time. Like it, I don't know what to say. I mean, I like Jaylen Brown. They're one of your key pieces to for a title contention for this year. And now he's gone. Does it even
yeah.
matter if you guys make the playoffs?
Honestly, if we don't make the playoffs, I guess we have a shot at a good pick. You know what I
Uh
mean?
huh.
That's all I gotta hope for. But my goal for the rest of the season would it would be to just avoid the Nets.
Hmm.
Avoid the Nets. Like if we can get the eighth seed,
Yeah.
which is actually my goal, and play the Sixers in the first round, I think that we definitely have a bigger chance of beating the Sixers than beating the Nets.
So I've seen a lot of your content. You know, I've been following you for a while. Actually, fun fact, you're one of the first creators I followed when I
Thank
was.
you.
Yeah, no problem. I like your content. I only had like
I like yours too.
300 followers. Thank you. I had like 300 followers, and I followed you because you're a Celtics fans, and I like following rivals. So, for example, I'm a Laker fan. You're a Celtics fan, so obviously we know what's going on with the Lakers and Celtics. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I see in a lot of your content that you're not that high with the Philly organization. Why is that?
Um, I just think that usually for the playoffs, the game like slows down, right? A lot less transition.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy like Ben Simmons, I always talk about him. I always keep talking about him. Uh, when the game slows down and teams can really go in being like, okay, we're going to be playing this team up to 7 times.
Yeah.
What strategies can we use to try and win? And for perimeter players that can't shoot,
Yep.
guys who like to be on the perimeter, Simmons, he's gotten a little bit better about he doesn't really stand at the 3-point line anymore, but it's still bad for spacing because Embiid, when he has to operate with Simmons on the floor, it's just hard because when he gets closer to the paint, there can be a help defender that comes in, double teams, triple teams. Whereas if it was like a guy like De'Aaron Fox instead of Simmons, he would not be getting this much attention because you can't just leave Fox open.
Oh yeah, and we talked about Ben Simmons when Super Kurt was on, not 2 episodes back, and
Yeah, he's a Simmons fan.
Yeah, he's a big Ben Simmons. I have read against Super Kurt. He's a good guy. But man, like you can't be like you said. It's easy to plan against the Sixers when you know one of their best perimeter players can't shoot the basketball. So obviously they're just gonna double Joel Embiid. It's gonna make it hard. But now that you did bring up the Brooklyn Nets, and I don't know if you know a lot about my content.
Yeah, you're not a fan of that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Brooklyn Nets. What is it about the Brooklyn Nets this year that you have them as your favorites to go all the way?
I just think they're just too good. They have the best offensive rating in the NBA, and they've been the most banged up team in the NBA. That's crazy. If we look at the banged up teams this year, we got the Lakers, the Heat, the Celtics, the Hawks, and the Nets.
Yep.
Right? Not right now. Sorry, someone's coming.
No, you good.
Out of those teams, the Nets, they have the best record by far out of like the banged up teams. So if they go into the playoffs healthy, I think they're just too good to not win it all. And I feel like they're more selfless than people think. I think Harden has done a great job distributing this year when he's playing. And besides their 3 stars, they got great role players and like Joe Harris. Nicholas Claxton.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of him because he can guard any position on the floor. I like Jeff Green. I like, their recent pickup, Mike James.
Mike James is a baller. That's what he is.
He's so good.
He's so good. I mean, look, we can't get mad to a certain because look, although I consider myself a Brooklyn hater, I can't be really mad at the pickups they got. Like for example, they got Blake Griffin. I mean, no one wanted Blake Griffin, and he got to the Nets and people got mad, but it's not their fault that no one wanted Blake. Also, the thing with LaMarcus Aldridge, hope he's still good. With the whole retirement, wish him any good luck in his future. But man, the whole retirement thing for LaMarcus Aldridge early, but before that happened, he was still considered a great player, but no one wanted to pick him up. So we can't really blame Brooklyn for picking up these, great role players. But saying all that, JJ, right? They're a great offensive team. They're great at scoring the basketball. In my opinion, James Harden is the best player in the Brooklyn Nets. Look. The Lakers. Let's talk about the Lakers. The Lakers have right now the 3rd best defense in the NBA. Now the question is,
they've been banged up. They don't even have. They barely even had Davis.
And Davis or LeBron. So the question is when you say they're all going all the way, are the Lakers, if healthy, right? If healthy, they're 100% healthy. Can they go? Can they beat them in the series? In your opinion, you could hurt my feelings.
I think I'm going to summer camp this summer, so I'm going to be away from everything for like a month. That's during the NBA Finals. If I come back and all of a sudden I see the Lakers won the championship, I wouldn't be surprised. I think fully healthy, I'll give them a 20% chance of beating the Nets.
20%? Okay, that's not bad. Those are the 20% that we need. Now, who's the greatest of all time?
What?
Greatest of all time.
Greatest player?
Ever.
We disagree on this one, but I think Jordan. But I understand where you're coming from when you
Yep.
uh
And,
say LeBron. I've been battling back and forth for a
yeah.
while.
No, and I just wanted to know who's your greatest of all time. I have no problem with people saying Jordan. I just wanted to bring that up because this is going to all my TikTok followers. Hey, I'm recording this part right now and I'm gonna post it. Listen, if I defend Michael Jordan, it doesn't mean that I'm not a LeBron fan. It means that I'm not biased. Boom, the sport guy, the man we're gonna have next week is the most biased person in the
Oh, you're gonna
in
have
the
him?
platform. Yeah, we're gonna have him next week. And it's gonna
Oh,
be
I'm excited
ZZ
to
Honcho
watch
versus
that.
Boom, the sport guy. Now, Boom, you are way too biased. I can't wait to have you next week. But I'm not gonna be the same guy. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, I had to say that because a bunch of people were calling me a fake LeBron fan, and I got offended. Anyways, now that we got that all over the way, let's talk about the greatest point guards of all time. Now, you went out and said Luka Doncic is the third greatest point guard of all time. Explain yourself before I give you my analysis and all that.
Second greatest.
Second. What? Okay, go ahead. Go. Second
Um,
greatest. Wait, so who's
so
first?
Curry.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Okay. To explain myself, when I rank players, I used to go, oh well, I want to see how long they played, how much value their respected team. But I completely different. I just look at their
Mhm.
skill set. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
I when I think
Mhm.
about Luka Doncic, I think about basically Magic Johnson, but with a perimeter game.
Okay. Hmm.
And for me, the reason I rank based off skill and not based off like legacy is because um I I think that when we're doing legacy, we're trying to give these players the respect that they deserve, and they deserve a
Yeah.
whole lot of respect.
Hmm.
But by ranking them ahead of players that are more skilled than them, I don't that doesn't sit well with me. And then also an argument that a lot of people like to use is um oh well, they didn't have the technologies that the players did today. And I'm actually going to make a video on this, but I'll say it here first. The not having technologies I don't think matters that much because then we're just going, okay, we're relative to circumstance
Hmm.
because players back then did not have the ability to get as good as players today. But what if I told you that there's a basketball player in, let's say, North Korea? He's been playing his whole life. He's so talented, but he's never watched NBA in his life.
Yeah.
He escapes North Korea. He comes here. He makes the NBA. He wins, let's say, six man of the year.
Hmm.
He did not have the ability to get trained by the best coaches, to watch film of best players, all self-taught.
Hmm.
And because since he did not have those technologies, should we rank him in our greatest players of all time? Because if he did have those technologies, he would be he would be like the best player in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying, or am I being too confusing?
I understand what you're saying. I just like that's a good example, right? But the whole thing of like putting Luca, first of all, I think Luca right now is a top 6 player in the NBA. I think this guy's the future of the NBA, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's the future. And me and
Yeah, I
ZZ,
agree.
we talk about this all the time. Like he says Zion is gonna be the face. I say Luca's gonna be the face. At the end of the day, one of those two guys are gonna end up being the face of the NBA. But what I'm
Hmm.
gonna say about him being the second best point guard of all time. First of all, I have Magic as the best point guard of all time. Magic, although you say legacy, you just look at the skill and all that stuff. I understand that. Because it's different point of views at the end of the day. So my
Hmm.
point of view is this is how I rate players at the end of the day. So I look at the amount of skill they have. I compare it to someone that, like for example, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. We can all agree that Kevin Durant is more skilled than LeBron James, right?
Mm.
No. Okay. Well, let's put another player then. We can all say that LeBron James is more or that Jordan is more skilled than LeBron James. Can we say that?
Mhm.
Okay, now I look at LeBron James, the lack of skill that he has compared to that player, right? And then I compare what he has accomplished with that skill. Obviously, Michael Jordan is a bad example because with all that, Michael Jordan has accomplished so much. LeBron has accomplished so much. But the argument that I look at Luka Doncic, although he is very skilled, and I compare him to Magic Johnson, and I think Luka is more skilled than Magic. Magic has accomplished more with the lack of skill he had back in his day. So that's
Mhm.
why I have him as the number one, like number one all time. The only player that as of right now, because Luka could definitely get there. I'm not saying he can't. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be years for me to even put him top five. I don't even have him top 10 in my opinion. But
Yeah.
uh, but the only player that could take Magic's throne is obviously the
Good.
man in yeah no, number 30 Steph Curry. That's the only guy that I could say that could take the throne of him being the best point guard of all time. Putting Luka Doncic the second best point guard of all time is way too soon in my opinion. Way too soon.
Uh-huh.
It's like even when we argue skill, right? Because I could
Mhm.
argue to you that first
Chris
Steph
Paul and
Curry,
Kyrie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Steph,
There's guys that.
Kyrie, all these players. Harden, if you want to consider him a point guard as well,
Mhm.
Harden, I think, is more skilled than Luka Doncic. All these
Yeah.
players, I could argue that there are more skilled, but
Yeah. But when
also,
I say skill, I mean
mhm,
like just so like we're clear, I don't mean like physical, like just like skills. I also mean like ability. So I think that Luca, like being more skilled, is like the same thing as better. So
mhm,
like LeBron is, I guess he's not more, but he's better because of his
yeah,
like athleticism and IQ, which I count as skills
mhm,
as well.
yeah. Okay, so with that logic, then wouldn't Magic Johnson be automatically the best because he was skilled?
Oh yeah, he was crazy skilled, but
Yeah, he.
and he had crazy
Okay,
IQ and all that, but
mhm,
he he wasn't he was like average defender,
okay.
and then he was not a good shooter. So he lacked two of like the most important skill sets. And
But is
yeah,
that the thing is that was during his time though, because don't you think like for example,
I think that if Luca went into his era, it
mhm.
wouldn't matter because he would just shoot. Like
But
he
would
would
he
just
shoot?
shoot and be basically if Luca went into that era, he'd be like Larry Bird and Magic.
But would he shoot as much as he shoots now?
Probably not, but he would
Because
still shoot a consider like with his skill set, he would still be doing these same things basically.
I think back then in the '80s, especially, the most important thing was a center and someone that shoots the mid range. That was literally the most two important things back in the
Agreed.
day.
But I think if
Yes.
someone with Luca's skill set went to their era, it would be like eye opening to watch him play because he would do things that he has in his bag that players did not have.
Hmm. Okay. And the thing with the era thing, right? Like putting let's like put LeBron in the '80s or Jordan in today's era or something like those
Mhm.
arguments, right? We got to look at it. For example, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. A lot of people say they play with plumbers, right? I understand it. They it wasn't the best skilled basketball. It wasn't really.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I could say is when Wilt and Bill were playing in the NBA, the league was only alive for 10 years. It was literally just in its infancy. Now,
Hmm.
when you look at the 80s when Magic Johnson was dominating the league with Larry Bird, it was him and Larry dominating. We also got to look at the fact that it was still, the NBA just evolves. It gets better every single
Yeah.
year. It get like every single. So that's why we see players in today's game like Kyrie, Luka,
Hmm.
Harden, Steph Curry that we could argue saying, hey, these guys are way more skilled than Magic and Larry
Yeah.
Bird. But
I'm
but
glad that you
okay,
acknowledge evolution
uh
because
huh,
a lot of people like to disagree when I say that like Kyrie's more skilled than Magic.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? Uh,
yeah.
but I'm it's good that we like agree on the basis, just disagree on like rankings.
Yeah, no, and it's not. Obviously, I'm not calling you stupid or anything.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not that. The whole point is not. I call It's at the end of this is a conversation. I just don't believe that Luca is even top 10. I think, in my opinion, I got Magic, Curry, not in order from three and down. All right, I can't put Magic and Curry are one and
Mhm.
two for sure. But from here,
Mhm.
don't get offended. I got Chris Paul, Russell, Steve Nash, Oscar Robertson, Kyrie, Dame.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing players. John Stock. You know the
Yeah, I
list, right?
understand that because they also did like
Yeah,
more things in their career. But just as a
exactly.
peak player, like I think
Hmm.
current Luca, for example, is better than like any version of Kyrie.
All right, let I wanna ask you this because this is gonna piss off Z. All right, peak Luka Doncic, right?
So current, yeah.
Who's better? So who's better, right? Luka right now, okay, or MVP Derrick Rose?
Oh, is he a Rose fan? Yeah, I think Luca's better. I don't think it's close either.
I don't think it's close either. I just wanted to say that because hey, it's true. I don't think Derrick Rose is the most overrated MVP of all time. What he did and what his team accomplishment did was amazing.
Mhm.
I just don't believe he's one of the greatest MVPs of all time. That's the thing that I don't agree with. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking about point guards, okay, let's go talk about two of the best point guards in today's game. This is why the podcast was really started. Why I wanted to invite you. It was who is more valuable for their team, and
Oh,
yeah, and it was Steph Curry in the Golden State Warriors or Chris Paul in the Phoenix Suns. Now you are my guest. I wanna see the floor. Why do you think? Who do you think is more valuable? What's going on? Let me know.
all right. I think that Curry is more valuable
Uh huh.
because I just think that he provides more to his team than Chris Paul provides to his team. Like
Okay.
I think the win difference, if we take Curry off the Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
I think the win difference between their current record and the team without Curry would be a bigger gap than the team with Chris Paul and without Chris Paul.
Okay. So that's why you think he's more valuable.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
What do you think?
and I could agree that if you take Curry out of the Golden State Warriors, they're the worst team in the NBA, like the
Uh-huh.
worst, the utter trash. That's what I think is the Warriors, right? I'm not a big fan of the Warriors, but I respect Steph Curry to even call him the best in the world as of right now. So if there's any Curry fans watching right now, I think Curry's the best in the world. Okay, so don't get triggered on what I'm gonna say. All right. Once again, this is just an opinion. Now, who is more valuable, Steph Curry or Chris Paul? I have Chris Paul. Not only did Chris Paul join the Phoenix Suns, keep in mind they were the 10th seed before
Hmm.
Chris Paul even joined. Chris Paul joins without any major changes. You put Chris Paul in that team, there's no major changes in that squad, only adding Jay Crowder. He's a great role player, but he's not an impactful player like Chris Paul. Now
Yeah.
you and now they're the second seed at one point they were the first seed in the NBA. Now they're the second seed. The same thing you go back to the Clippers. When before he joined the Clippers with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, that team was like the 11th or 10th seed. You put
Hmm.
you put Chris Paul in that team without any major changes. Again, that team becomes contenders. Yes, they never won anything, but they became contenders. You put them in the Rockets. They got extremely better. I mean, they took the Golden State Warriors to 7 games with Chris Paul on the floor. I mean, that's impactful in my opinion. And last thing, when they traded him to OKC, this team had a point. Listen, 0.2% to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
He did not make the playoffs as the eighth seed. No, he did not. He made the playoffs as the seed. Fifth seed of a team that had a 0.2% in making the playoffs. So when I look at Chris Paul in today's game, you put him in any team, they're making the playoffs. I don't care who it is.
You think that if Chris Paul was on the Warriors instead of Curry, they'd be a better team?
Oh man, yes, I think
Oh.
they'll have a better record. Oh my God, I'm gonna get flamed. Chris
Oof.
Paul, you put Chris Paul in the Golden State Warriors, that team would have a better record than Steph Curry on the Warriors. Now, it doesn't mean that I think Chris Paul is better than Steph Curry. That is
Okay.
not what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Now let me turn this around on you, because
Okay.
what does being better at basketball, like, what classifies being better at basketball?
Okay. So for example, who is who is more skilled? Who impacts the game the most, right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, like who do you in Chris Paul's case, who is going to take the last second shot? Chris Paul or Steph Curry? I mean, Chris Paul or Devin Booker?
Booker.
Devin Booker. Yeah. Chris Paul, when I say that Chris Paul is more impactful, I mean that he knows how to use his teammates more than Steph Curry knows how to use his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So he knows how to put his teammates to the best positions in any situation. He knows how to put them in a position for them to win the game. Same thing with Steph Curry, but I think Steph Curry lacks behind Chris Paul when it comes to impacting a team. Now, when it comes to answer your question, what classifies me as the best player? I think Steph Curry is a better player because although I think Chris Paul is more valuable,
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry is not that behind from Chris Paul, in my opinion. He is still impactful. Do not get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. But when you look at the skill that Steph Curry has above Chris Paul, Steph Curry is obviously better. And the man of the hour has joined. Hold up. The GOAT, ZZ Hunch. ZZ, you've been watching the show. What's your opinion on a couple things, man?
I turned it off when he said Luka was the best point guard of all time, or second best.
Second best.
But I liked I saw the GOAT talk, him saying MJ, he got MJ, I got MJ too, but just by a little bit.
Are you a Bulls fan?
I'm not a Bulls fan. I'm a Rose fan, so I was a Bulls fan back in 2015.
So you didn't hear what we said?
No.
Oh man, should we repeat it, JJ?
Yeah.
Okay, so I asked JJ, who's a better player? Luka Doncic right now, all right, and guess what? Or MVP Derrick Rose.
Oh my god!
And guess who we got? It was a sweep.
Who you got, JJ?
Luka by a landslide.
I got Luka by a landslide as well. Like, it's not even a debate. That's how I have it.
I'd 100% have MVP Derrick Rose.
Why is that?
A lot of reasons. One, context is key. Derrick Rose led his team to the best record in basketball that year.
Yeah.
While Luka is swimming in the 6th seed, 7th seed, and consistently has done that. Granted, I look at what they both have done at the age of 22. 22-year-old Derrick Rose. Keep in mind, 22. How old is Luka? Hey Siri, how 22. Old is Luka Doncic?
22.
And what is Luka doing right now? And it's not even you can't use the excuse
he's killing
it. The West
he has an awful team.
Okay. So here's my thing.
Derrick Rose had a better team. Joakim Noah is better than any player that Luka has on his team.
So Derrick Rose, so keep in mind, Joakim Noah and Carlos Boozer were out for significant time that year, and Rose still got them to the best record in basketball. So I'm sorry, but in terms of me watching these two players, sorry.
Let me explain something to you. They also had the best defense in the NBA.
And that wasn't because of Rose.
And that wasn't because of Rose. That was because of Tom. Tibbet. I can't even say his last name. You know the coach. Someone help me with the coach.
Just call him Tibbs. Just call him Tibbs.
Tibbs. Yeah, I can't say his last name. I don't know why. Tibbs. Right. This man is in the New York Knicks, and they have the best defense in the NBA. The best defense in the NBA. You put them in any team, they have a better defense. So it's not Derrick Rose impact. It's not like I'm not disrespecting Derrick Rose. Do not get me wrong. That is not what I'm saying. Okay. But what I am going to say is that Derrick Rose had a better supporting cast. Derrick Rose had a better coach. Derrick Rose also, keep in mind, when we look at skill,
an easier era.
Derrick Rose, it was in the Eastern Conference. It was in the Eastern Conference, not easier era. I don't agree with easier era. It was in the Eastern Conference. And you look at Luka Doncic and you compare him to the just stats, right? Just numbers. You put Derrick Rose numbers. He averaged 21, 5, and 6, or something like that. Someone correct me. 21, 5, and 6. I know it was like 21 something.
I think like 25 and 8.
25.
It was
something,
25
5
MVP.
and 5,
Okay. Luka Doncic is almost averaging a triple double because his team is that bad.
Let's keep this in mind, though. For one, the content of the fact that we're talking about better supporting cast and better coach. Let's keep this in mind. You also have to understand the system that Tibbs ran went through Derrick Rose offensively, right? So Derrick Rose offensively was able to average that 25, 5, and 6 or whatever. So we have to think, could Luka play in that system? The system that he plays in gives Luka a lot of freedom with the basketball. Derrick Rose, on the other hand, if you watch the Bulls back then, they did not focus that heavily on just Derrick Rose, which is why he averaged just a mere 25 and not 30. Look at Derrick Rose.
I think Luka's also more efficient than him, even though Luka has the ball way more and gets way more defensive attention.
But you know why
he's in that system.
But you know why Luka?
But how is it? But he's more efficient while getting more defensive attention and having the ball in his hands.
Give me 1 second, guys. Keep talking.
So here's my thing. Luka Doncic, I think, when I look at Luka, right, I'm thinking to myself, I love me some Luka. Luka Magic, I love me some Luka. But the thing about it is that when you're talking about these two players and you're talking about what Rose had and what Luka had or whatever, Luka Doncic, to me personally, like, you can't get better than what Derrick Rose did. Like, what more could you possibly do if you're Luka than get the Bulls? I mean, Rose did it all. It's not like Rose.
Luka's a better distributor than Rose,
and Rose is a better defender than Luka.
I mean, they're both bad defenders, so it doesn't matter.
It wasn't. I don't think Rose was a great perimeter defender.
He was better than Luka, though.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like it wasn't
so close
like
that it doesn't even matter.
Was it like? Can you really say that Derrick Rose was way better at defense than Luka Doncic?
It's like saying it's like using Ben Simmons a better shooter than Shaq in an argument. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it's that close. But what I am gonna say, although Derrick Rose did average 25 in his MVP season, do not get me wrong, right?
25. This says 8 rebounds. No, 8 assists. Wait, have we been stats wrong the whole time?
No, it's 8 assists.
Yeah, 25, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. I thought it was like 5 and 6. I've been listening to the comment section.
Ryan,
I thought it was
going
5
back
and 6
to our Chris Paul and Curry thing. I pulled up a stat. Can I show you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can the camera see?
Yeah, I see it.
That line is the offensive rating for when Chris Paul is on the court compared to off the court, and see how it like stays the same.
Yeah.
You want to see Curry's?
I would love to see Steph's.
Can you see it?
I don't see the line, but I'm assuming it goes down.
I see the post itself.
It goes really up.
Okay.
So
look,
when he's on the floor, the difference in their offensive rating is much bigger than the difference in Chris Paul's on and off. Actually, when Booker is on the court and Chris Paul is off the court, they have a better offensive rating than when Chris Paul's on the court and Booker is on the bench.
Obviously, it's Devin Booker. But look, Z, I'm gonna inform you right now what's going on. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So before you joined, the conversation was who is more valuable, Chris Paul to the Phoenix Suns or Steph Curry to the Golden State Warriors? I say Chris Paul's more valuable because of his history that he has done, and also more or less, you put him in any team, they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I
feel like he's gotten lucky. Chris Paul's gotten lucky.
Maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit far on this one and say that the Chris Paul effect is not real.
What?
I can explain myself. So
okay, go ahead.
So this year, last year, the Suns were crazy injured. DeAndre Ayton missed more than half the season. Oh my God, there's a bird. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Cam Johnson missed half the season. Frank Kaminsky missed some time. Aaron Baines missed some time. Kelly Oubre, he's not there anymore, but he missed a lot of time as well. And when they did have their healthy roster, they were a 60% win. They won 60% of their games when they were fully healthy.
Uh-huh.
So Chris Paul, you're adding Chris Paul to this team, and now they're fully healthy. So the gap that they took wasn't that big of a gap. It's just that they were banged up last year.
Well,
No,
I think Chris Paul is an excellent addition, but he has some history on his side of like his impact. Because let me ask you this question. I made a TikTok like a few weeks ago talking about the 2018 Game 7 Western Conference Finals, Warriors versus Rockets, and everybody said that if Chris Paul played in Game 7, the Warriors lose. Do you agree with that statement, DJ?
No.
Thank you.
Because everybody was missing open shots. It wasn't like.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, this is the thing. This is the thing with the whole. I think last week I said, yeah, the Rockets would win that game, right?
No, I said the Warriors were still going to win regardless if Chris Paul played him.
And I said Chris Paul would win that game.
Yeah, they said.
Yeah, I'm something like that. All right, but anyways, look, I understand they were like not healthy, right? And then I understand that Dame is also not healthy and all that stuff, and then he got lucky, right? Luck. I don't believe in luck. I look at numbers, okay? I look at where was that team before Chris Paul joined, and then I look at where they are now. You look at the Clippers, right? And then you put Chris Paul with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, and they become a fifth seed the first season, second seed the next season, first seed the other season. You put Chris Paul on the Houston Rockets, although it wasn't a big jump. They still took the Warriors to 7 games. Whatever happens in Game 7, if Chris Paul played or not, they still went to 7 games with the greatest team of all time.
Mhm.
Kevin Durant and the Golden State.
They also had a better record than the Warriors that year too.
Exactly.
I think the Chris Paul effect is just one of the greatest point guards we've ever seen switching up teams a lot. I feel like if Curry was switching up teams, you would see the same impact. No, not the same. Better impact in the teams that he went to. Like if instead of putting Chris Paul and the Suns this year, if you put Curry on that team, they would be the front runners to win the whole thing, and they'd have the best record in the NBA.
No, I still take the Lakers. I still take the Lakers beating that team in 6 games. Now, look, Chris Paul, right? And this is my final thought because we still got to go back to explain to Z about the whole Larry Bird and Jason Tatum thing, okay? Because that's what I want Z to be here when we talk about this. Okay, so Chris Paul, right? This like in his history, the number like we cannot say that effect does not exist because it has happened over and over and over again. If it was,
I don't think there's anything special about him. That like, no, I mean there's obviously stuff special, but like, I feel like when we talk about the Chris Paul effect, we're kind of assuming that like he does some type of magic that makes the team better, but really it's just a great player. A great player going to a team and making them better, like he should.
Look at LeBron James.
Yeah, I see what he's talking about, but this is why I always have CP3 ahead of Russell Westbrook all time because I look at impact on teams. Right, CP3 goes to the Rockets. They go to the conference finals the first year. No, they have to go to the conference finals.
I think Chris Paul has always been better than Westbrook. Maybe
I say the same thing. If I have to choose who I want on my team, I'm going to pick Chris Paul because
that's the same thing with who's better. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not nothing against Russ. It's just I've seen Chris Paul go to Chris Paul did this. Russell Westbrook did the same thing Chris Paul did. Chris Paul went to the Rockets. They had the best record in basketball in 2018. Went to the conference finals, like Lightout said. Took that Warriors team to 7 games. When Russell Westbrook went to the Rockets, granted they ran into the Lakers, but they weren't the same team. They weren't the same level of dominance.
Russ choked too.
He also did choke with Chris Paul.
Keep going.
Yeah. With Chris Paul, he's a menace. Like he's just like he can do. He's underrated in terms of like giving you buckets. I really think so. And I think in 2018 in that conference
He's
finals,
very good.
we saw the best of. I personally saw the best I've seen from Chris Paul in his career in the playoffs against Steph. I mean, he went up against Steph Curry and was giving the Warriors, buckets.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So yeah, that's what I think about.
And again, we're not
I think
disrespecting
Chris
both
Paul
players
is like
as well.
in the upper echelon of point guards all time and point guards today. Like, I feel like everybody thinks it's common sense to have Kyrie over Chris Paul, but I think that's actually close. And I have Chris Paul as the 5th best point guard in the NBA right now, but like I could see him as high as like 4 or 3 even ahead of Kyrie and Dame.
And I respect that, and also I have them 4, so it's not that far from each other.
Yeah.
What you call it? But the thing with Russ, like, just look at the impact of both teams, right? You put Russell Westbrook with a player like Paul George and Carmelo Anthony in OKC, and they get bounced out.
Carmelo wasn't that good though then.
Yeah, but still, it's still Carmelo Anthony. I mean, it was still,
and it was tougher for Russ because he actually played pretty well that series.
Yeah,
more on the other players that he had, but at the same time, you put Russ back with Harden. Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul played the same position. They're both point guards. They play differently, and Chris Paul's way got his team.
And what you call it?
To be fair to Russell Westbrook, though, Chris Paul was a better fit in D'Antoni's system than Russ was.
Yes, but in OKC, it was the same system.
Yeah, literally, Chris Paul went to Oklahoma City, and we thought they were going to be dog water and end up in the lottery and drag them to the 7th seed and almost beat
5th seed.
Houston.
5th seed.
5th seed. Was it the 5th seed?
Yep.
That's higher than Russell Westbrook got them to.
Yeah.
Alone.
Mm-hmm. So, and in a worse supporting cast too.
Yes,
like,
Chris Paul. I can't even. Literally, Chris Paul.
No, he had a better supporting cast than Russ in 2010.
Whoa! Wait, so Russell Westbrook had Paul George.
Yeah, because he had Shea. No, I'm talking about 2017.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Like Houston?
No, 2017, like his MVP year before Paul George.
Oh, got you. My bad.
The first triple-double.
Yeah. Sorry.
Chris Paul had like an underrated supporting cast around him. He had like Shea, who's an all-star level player now. Danilo Gallinari. Just a bunch of solid pieces. Lou Dort, didn't Lou Dort have like 35 in a playoff game?
Yeah, but like I understand. Like that year we could compare because it was Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul and their supporting cast. You can make an argument that Chris Paul had a better supporting cast that year. But you look at the following year with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, you put Chris Paul there, then you put Chris Paul instead of Russell Westbrook. That team could be a favorite to go all the way. Because remember, when they, on paper before the season even started, said, OKC is going to be that team because everybody expected Carmelo to be Carmelo, Paul George. He did better than everybody expected. And then the following year with Paul George, Chris Paul never had Paul George. So that's the thing. But let's move on. Let's move on with this conversation because I want to go on this. And this will be the last segment of the show. And now, Z, I'm going to ask you because I asked JJ at the beginning of the show. Actually, no, I asked him. No, let me ask JJ because I asked him this before the show. So, JJ, I want you to explain to me who's better, Larry Bird or Jason Tatum?
This should be an easy question. But
it should be.
It should be. For people, it would be an easy question. I'll take Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
In today's league, I'll take Jason Tatum over Larry Bird.
So can you explain more on why is that?
He's bigger, he's stronger, he has a tighter handle. He can get to the rim easier. He's quicker. He has better shot creation
than Larry.
I feel like Larry was fantastic, but he got around a lot of the defenders in the 80s by like a simple pump fake, not a good pump, just a simple pump fake. They would fully jump. He would get right in for an easy layup. Like a lot of Larry's moves would not work at the efficiency
And
today.
for the people watching, obviously we're talking about skill.
Mhm.
So he's not saying all time. We're talking
Yeah, yeah,
skill. We're talking skill now. So don't get heated, okay?
yeah.
So yeah. I got you back there. But I still disagree. I know ZZ has to face that. He completely disagrees. So I want ZZ to go, and then I'll add anything if anything.
In today's league, Tatum or Larry? Now, I like what JJ said. I mean, Tatum's stronger or whatever, but with Larry Bird, there's something special.
Can I stop you? Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
There? No, we're just comparing Jason Tatum or Larry, not in today's league.
Oh, then yeah, Larry. Because the thing with Larry Bird was, he's more all around. He's a better all around player than Jason Tatum is, and that really shouldn't be a debate at all. Larry Bird. We talking about shot creation, and that kind of made me smile because with Larry has so many iconic moments in his career that it's like, I mean, you remember the game he played the entire game just because he felt like
That
It glitched a little bit, but did you say the left-hand game?
Yeah, say that again,
Yeah.
Z.
I said, granted, it says a lot about the defense back then, but at the same, Larry Bird had this level of confidence and the shot creation that he had. I mean, this man could hit a fadeaway from the corner, the post fadeaway. Larry had it down packed. The post fadeaway into the pump fake, into the layup. Larry had a bag. He had a bag.
Yeah.
Not only that,
a big bag, like a
yeah. I agree. I think he's the best '80s player, but I just think that Tatum's is more polished. He can create on the perimeter, and I know that's not fair to Larry because if he would create on the perimeter, it would be like the first person to ever do it. But I do need a judge on what I've seen, and I haven't seen Larry really create perimeter shots, and I've just seen more moves from Tatum.
I want you to go watch Larry Bird during the playoffs and then come back.
Oh yeah, he was a menace.
Yeah. So look, also playoffs counts. He was a menace to society during the playoffs. He was ridiculous. And obviously we're not talking all time, we're talking about skill.
Mhm.
Like Larry Bird, when you say that Jason Tatum was a better all-time shot creator, or not all-time, a better skill, a more skilled shot creator than Larry Bird, I disagree 100%. Because once again, this man literally woke up one morning and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna go this whole game shooting with my left hand." And I think he dropped 30. And it's ridiculous. And like
he had dropped 47.
He dropped 47.
It was a 47-point triple double.
This is not an argument. Jason Tatum, yo, this Larry guy is crazy. Now, I don't think this is an argument. I think Jason Tatum, can he potentially get to Larry Bird's, place? Maybe. Who knows? Anything could happen in the NBA, right?
You can look at it from a whole. I mean, Larry in the clutch, like everybody knew it was going to Larry. Anytime Larry was the game winner, it wasn't because of the defense. It was because he just missed a shot. Like Larry Bird was an assassin. Larry Bird would tell you what he was about to do to you, and then do it.
I know. Yeah, he was a killer.
Yeah,
I know all the stories about Larry, and I'm a huge fan of him. My brother has a poster like this.
Yeah,
in his room.
You're a Celtics fan too, right?
What?
You're a Celtics fan too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Celtics fan.
Yeah. So JJ's, I bet JJ's got the knowledge. Like.
Yeah. Obviously, he's a diehard Celtics fan. But yeah, no. In respect, because that organization sucks. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I was kidding. Anyways. All right. So let's end the podcast here. I want to ask JJ, who are your final predictions? All right, who are gonna make it the finals this year, and also who might be the sleeper to go all the way? So who are your finals prediction, and who might be the sleeper to go all the way this season?
All right, my finals is gonna be. I'm gonna have Lakers Nets as expected.
Okay.
And I'll have the Nets winning it.
Okay.
And my sleeper pick is gonna be the Suns. I think that
the Suns. All right, cool.
If the Lakers don't get fully healthy and if the Lakers and Nets aren't fully healthy, I think the Suns are going to win it.
All right, cool. And if Chris Paul gets that ring, I mean, we have to start. Yeah, the Knicks, man.
I'm sorry.
Z,
You said sleeper, so I just assumed that.
yeah, no. You know, my favorite part is that we beat the Knicks without LeBron James. That's my favorite part, that we beat them without LeBron.
Yeah, because RJ Barrett forgot that he was playing basketball. I don't know what he did, but
hey man, that's his problem, not ours.
yeah, if the bed was a person, it'd be RJ Barrett.
All right, guys. Yo, thank you for coming. Thank you JJ,
so much for having me.
For
It was a
being
lot of
here,
fun.
bro. Hey, JJ, where can we find you? What social media platforms are you in? Where you at? Let people know.
Mainly TikTok, but you can follow me on Instagram too. Just JJ15NBA. That's my handle. If you want to send me a hate DM after what I said about Larry Bird, I'm cool with that. Thank you so much for having me. Peace out.
Perfect. Peace. And then I just want one more thing. I just want to say this last thing, and we'll end the stream. The Lakers beat the Knicks. Let's go. I'll see you guys later.